welcome to this video about how to manage pregnancy insomnia. My name is Sophie Harris and I am a cognitive behavioural therapist who regularly helps women during their pregnancy overcome these issues. Subscribe for free weekly support. I'll be uploading twice per week, and let's get on with the video. Sleep problems during pregnancy can feel incredibly difficult to deal with, but they are extremely common. In this video, I'm going to share all of the tips that you would get in cognitive behavioural therapy treatment to help you manage your sleep as good as you possibly can throughout your pregnancy. The first job is to monitor your sleep. So this involves writing down either on a piece of paper or a journal or notes on your phone, whatever feels best for you, how much you are currently sleeping. This can help to understand any sleep patterns that you may have. It may help you understand when you tend to wake up in the middle of the night or how long it takes you to get to sleep. And it's a really just helpful baseline to get as we go on to the other tips in trying to improve your sleep. Next tip is to start thinking about what you're doing in the daytime which contribute to how you're sleeping at night. So this involves ensuring that you're avoiding caffeine past, say, lunchtime or the afternoon, depending on what your own boundary is for that. Ensuring that you're getting outside each day is very important, and particularly if you are able to see the sun come up or watch the sun come down, anything that helps balance your circadian rhythm to the day so that you're more ready for sleep during the night time. And also exercising. Obviously during pregnancy our exercise ways and the way that we do this may be restricted sometimes, but not always. And so just finding a light movement that works for you. Perhaps it's walking, yoga, swimming, doing some kind of low intensity indoor workout, but anything that helps get your body moving will be incredibly helpful. The next tip is to set your environment up for sleep. Everyone has got a different way of doing this and what works for them, but it's definitely worth experimenting about how to make your environment as conducive for sleep as possible. So this may include things like getting blackout blinds, even if you've never particularly needed them before, ensuring that you've perhaps got a pregnancy pillow or a way to make yourself feel comfortable or more comfortable, because we all know how deeply uncomfortable pregnancy can be sometimes. Avoiding blue lights, so from the screens of our phones or laptops in our bedrooms, that will all be important to helping you create the right environment to get a good night's sleep. Next tip is to decatastrophize any of the anxious thoughts that we have around sleep. And what I mean by that is often when we are experiencing sleep problems, we develop almost faulty thinking about how bad it is to not sleep. And because we know the more that we worry about sleeping, the more likely we are to not be able to sleep. So it's a really vicious circle. What we want to do is notice what thoughts we're currently having about sleep. So for example, you may feel like it will be really awful if you don't sleep and start dreading the next day ahead, and this tends to make your anxiety feel worse as you're trying to get to sleep. However, we need to try and shift this mindset, because ultimately it's not that big a deal if you don't get a good night's sleep. Yes, it's uncomfortable and we would all prefer if we did have one, but it's not that big a deal. Like, we can all function on limited sleep and it's not going to harm us. And if we let go of some of this anxiety around feeling tired or what that means, then we're much more likely to be able to get a good night's sleep in the first place. Okay, so talking of anxious thoughts, something that can be really helpful is writing down any worries or anxieties that you have, usually before bed. Writing down our worries or anxious thoughts can help get them out of our heads and onto paper, and it can mean that they're less likely to circulate in our heads. Sometimes people like to, if they wake up in the night and they're having these racing thoughts, they might choose to write the thoughts down in the middle of the night to get them out of their heads then. But then sometimes people may not like that because they don't want to be woken up by doing that. But experiment with what works for you in terms of how helpful it is to write down your thoughts and get them out of your head. Okay, this next tip can be a bit difficult for some, and it is understandable why you may experience some resistance to it. However, the payoff for it can be huge, so listen up. So what we want to do is increase the sleep association with you and your bed. This means we want your body and mind to get used to your bed being a place where you sleep, but nothing else. So what we're going to do is put a ban on doing anything other than sleep or sex in your bed. The purpose of doing this is that we want our body to get used to that this is the place where you sleep. And when we watch TV or even read or chat with a partner, it makes it difficult to get that association. Actually, now this is a cue that we need to sleep. Now, the difficult bit with this is that if you are in bed and you are not able to fall asleep, after 15 minutes, it is recommended for you to get up and to go and maybe sit in another room and do something else, something which doesn't overstimulate you, but maybe, I don't know, listening to an audiobook or reading a book maybe, but something that isn't going to overstimulate you and make you less tired, but something that can actually make you more tired. And then come back to bed, and then if you can't fall back to sleep, then get up again. But it's likely that this will feel harder at first, and you may feel more tired initially as you adopt this strategy. However, it is proven that when you do adopt this strategy, it becomes much easier to fall asleep when your body is used to those cues. And perhaps in the future you won't need to be as strict on these cues, and you can start enjoying being in bed with your partner, for example, and chatting or doing whatever. But at the moment, whilst you need it, it is likely to be highly beneficial to follow this tip. Just remember that insomnia and sleep problems during pregnancy is extremely common, and I am so sorry that you're going through this, because I know how deeply uncomfortable it can be. But this will not last forever. If you follow these tips and ways to help yourself, then you are highly likely to be able to get a better night's sleep. If you wanted to explore this further in CBT sessions with me, then you can check my website details for pregnancy therapy, and we could have a few sessions on this if I have availability at that time. Okay, and remember, subscribe for weekly pregnancy support, and I will see you in the next video.